So Gauteng faces a looming water storage crisis as Rand Water raises concerns over a sharp decline in water reservoir levels across the province. Now, the bulk water supplier attributes the drop to excessive withdrawals by municipalities, warning that urgent intervention is needed to prevent widespread shortages. Rand Water, which supplies potable water to Gauteng's 3 metros and parts of the Free State and Mpumalanga, is calling for immediate measures to conserve water. Well, joining us now is Rand Water spokesperson Makenosi Maroo. Makenosi, thank you so much for joining us. And really good to have this conversation, a concerning one though, because of the wording that has been used. I mean, just reading out of your statement, it reads, Gauteng water storage levels could soon be depleted, that we're talking about critical levels. In fact, let me read directly from the statement. Unfortunately, the crisis we sought to prevent has now materialized. So, concerning when we talk about it, because it seems like we're in the middle of a crisis right now. How would you describe where we are with water levels in Gauteng at this point?
Okay. Good morning, Naledi, and good morning to your viewers. Naledi, it is concerning. When we issued the statement, we issued on Saturday evening that tells you that we were really monitoring our level in terms of reservoirs. And the water storage levels, they have significantly declined to a concerning level where we're saying to municipalities, you need to take a stand, you need to introduce restrictions, you need to take care of the leaks, or else we are going to face the crisis that we've been talking about, the potential crisis.
Yeah, you talk about how you've communicated with municipalities through letters and held meetings. So let us in on what's been communicated to municipalities, which municipalities really are, you know, in your view, most in trouble, and what's been the response from municipalities?
Naledi, the 3 municipalities, actually the 3 metropolitan municipalities, so it would be City of Johannesburg, it would be Ekurhuleni, it would be Tshwane. Those 3 municipalities, they consume more than 70% of our water. So we are looking at the metros to say reduce consumption so that we are able to supply water to all the areas that we're supposed to supply water to. Yes, we had meetings with them. We had an intergovernmental relation meeting with them. We had recently had a Gauteng water in Bizo. We written letters to them. We had meetings every morning at 8 o'clock. We are meeting with them to discuss the high consumption. But we are realizing that it is not decreasing. So we're saying we need to take major steps to ensure that we avoid the impending disaster.
You know, Makenosi, we had a conversation here, you and I, just a month ago, right? And in that conversation, you then talked about imposing a level 1 water restriction in Gauteng due to an increase in demand. So imposing that restriction, has that not yielded any results?
And Naledi, when we had a discussion, we were saying municipalities are the ones who are going to impose restrictions. We are saying back to them, either you increase the levels of restrictions, because I know that we are on level 1 in Gauteng, so it's up to the municipalities to increase those restrictions. If they don't, that's where rainwater comes in. Things will be different, things will be difficult. Just to give an indication, Naledi, in Gauteng, we are consuming 237 liters of water per person per day. If you compare that to the world average, it's 173 per person per day. In Gauteng, we are consuming over 300 liters, well above the global average. It is just too much water that we are consuming. Maybe we are not consuming water. Maybe it's through the illegal connections. We're talking about the leaks that we are noticing. So we're saying to municipalities, enforce bylaws, ensure that we inculcate that culture of water conservation in this country and in this province.
Yeah, I mean, that was going to be my next point, right? If you're talking about the liters that are being used by Gauteng residents per day, how much of that is going to leakages, for instance? And can we talk a little bit about that, what the data actually says around where we are with dealing with leakages, because that speaks to municipalities needing to deal with serious infrastructure damage as well, correct?
That's correct. The overall percentage that we looked at for Gauteng, it's above 33%. If you look at municipality like Mfuleni, it's well above 60% in terms of leaks. So that tells you we purify water, but it does not end up where it's supposed to end up. Also, to top that, we are not getting paid by municipalities. So we are busy supplying water. Water is not reaching the resident. But on top of that, rainwater is still being owed by municipalities.
Yeah, but what then are you hearing from municipalities? Because we saw in the papers just this morning reports that, well, municipalities say the communication they received from Randwater is that they need to consult with their constituencies on how to implement restrictions. So it seems that there's a break in communication somewhere along the line there.
Now, Lady, what we're saying as Rainwater, we're trying to clarify that we are a bulk water supplier. So we supply municipalities. So we cannot be actually communicating with residents. They don't pay their rates to Rainwater. Municipalities are paying Rainwater. So therefore, we have a responsibility to communicate with our customers. And we're saying in turn, our customers must communicate with their own customers, in this instance, their residents.
Yeah, because I'm reading from the statement. It says, Randwater would like to alert communities, particularly in Gauteng, that water storage could soon be depleted. Listen to this. If municipalities do not implement our recommendations. So, and so you're asking for them to communicate directly with municipalities. Talk to me a little bit about the limitations, of course, that Randwater does have in your extraction levels. And I think that gives us just a bit of clarity on what you can and really cannot do as Randwater.
Right. Now, Lady, you would know that we get a license from the Department of Water and Sanitation. That gives us an indication of how much water we can abstract from the Vaal River system. So we are way above that system. We are abstracting over 4,400 megaliters per day. At the moment, we are even over 5,000 in terms of megaliters. We are way, way above what the license allows. So as it is, Rainwater, we are in trouble with the Department of Water and Sanitation because we are not actually, we are not in limit. We are not confined to what we are supposed to be abstracting. We are way, way above what we're supposed to be abstracting. We need to abstract more because municipalities are consuming more. We need to actually avoid abstracting more so that municipalities can also conserve and consume less.
Yeah. Here's the thing, we had an incredibly hot weekend in Gauteng, and of course, as we get closer and closer to the end of the year, temperatures are just going to get hotter and hotter, right? So we're going to certainly need water. What's the worst case scenario here if municipalities do not come to the party with restrictions? And I think it's something to be said about municipalities, but also residents themselves needing to come to the party. What's the worst case scenario?
Look, we are going to have intermittent water supply. That's one, we need to be honest about it. Rainwater will need to come in and come up with solutions to ensure that we protect our systems. We don't want our systems to collapse, to run empty. So we need to actually ensure that we don't deplete the systems completely. So we will come up with measures, we'll introduce our restrictions, but that will be communicated well ahead of time.
Yeah, people are talking more and more around a water day zero. I mean, this is concerning. I mean, is this where we are? Is Randwater using the words a looming day zero for water in Gauteng?
We're not actually using that word, or those words. We know that in Cape Town they had day zero. In Gauteng, the challenge is we do have enough water. It's not a question of we don't have enough water. We are not consuming water the correct way. Enough water we have in the system. Even with the Lesotho Highlands project being under maintenance, we still have enough water. Should we actually run out of water in our integrated Vaal River system, we have Sterkfontein where we can withdraw water. So the issue is not a question of we don't have water. We have enough water, but we are not conserving, we are not consuming water the right way.
Here's the thing, though, where you have officials that are appointed to look after the infrastructure of a city and ensure that everything functions well, and they don't do that. Surely there should be some level of accountability. I mean, we've got a water expert, Ferial Adams, who essentially says that in the city of Johannesburg alone, 42 of the 87 reservoirs that we have, they have leaks. Who should be held accountable, and who's dropping the ball then and not ensuring that we deal with those problems?
Look, if we're talking about City of Johannesburg, in this case, it would be Joburg Water. And we are, as I'm saying, we are having those engagements with the municipality and with the entity. But we are encouraging not just Joburg Water and other municipalities to really maintain their infrastructure. If we look after the infrastructure, we will be able to supply water even to our future generations without any hindrance.
Yeah. Is there something to be said about the role that can be played by the Department of Water and Sanitation, perhaps to even deal with some of the limitations that have been put on yourselves where extraction is concerned?
Yes, we are having those discussions with the department. Already they have given us a leeway to abstract more than we are allowed to abstract. So they are really playing a major role. They haven't restricted us yet to that point, but we are getting to that point. So we are also actually negotiating with municipalities, with the Department of Water and Sanitation, that is our mother department. So we are relying on their support and their guidance in this case.
Yeah. Before I let you go, Makenosi, I'll let you have this opportunity now to make an appeal to residents, municipalities, obviously those that are watching, but more importantly to residents of Gauteng around how they need to be handling their water from now onwards.
We are saying to municipalities, please educate the residents regarding how to consume water, water consumption, how to conserve water, but also we're saying look after the illegal consumption, obviously legal connections. We're also saying with regard to non-payment, ensure that you are able to collect revenue from your residents. But the major point is let's ensure that we are not consuming more than what we are supposed to be consuming. If other countries can do it, we should be able to do it as a country.
Yeah, that's of course part of our poll this morning. But thank you so much for speaking to us. Makenosi Maroo, who is the spokesperson there for Rand Water.